Hello, welcome. You're first in tonight. Here's Lucas. Hi, Lucas. How are you? Hi, Pia. Hi, Ligaya. Nice to see you.
Hello. I'm able to get in.
Yeah, sorry about this morning's time confusion for you. I changed it on you, didn't I?
I didn't pay attention.
Hi, Lucas. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, really well. Wonderful. Just give a bit of time for more people to join in. Oh, is it nice and warm where you are? It's kind of chilly where I am. A few of you look like rugged up and others of you look like it's summer. If you can, if your name is not on the thing, if you go up to the dots up into the corner of your little box, you can see it says rename, and then you can put your name. Actually, I'll do that. I don't need to have that whole big, that was when I had a meeting earlier today. I can just be Morag. There we go. And that way we know who you are. Great. Excellent. Wonderful.
Oh, hello.
Hi, how are you? Nice to see you.
Good, thank you. It's a bit cool here for summer, but that's the way it is.
Oh, yeah, gosh. Well, I can't complain. It's midwinter here, so it should be cold. That's the right thing. But there was a cool breeze that kind of blew in from the south today, and yeah, just kind of got me a bit chilled. That's not too bad. And again, you know, being subtropical Queensland, it's really not that chilly. It's kind of
no, you just forget it.
yeah, really mild. Yeah. So
Elders is telling me it's 9.8, but it feels like 6.7.
yeah, right. Yeah, it does feel pretty
Actually
cool.
feels colder than that.
Yeah, well, I dug out a jumper out of the cupboard. I don't normally need to wear them, but I found one, and one that doesn't. Most of the jumpers, I managed to borrow some from my mum down in Melbourne a long time ago, but they're all woolen, and they all ended up getting eaten because up here in the subtropics, things just eat things. So I managed to find one that wasn't falling apart on me. Nice to see everyone.
Hi, Morag.
Hi. Hi, Sylvia. So I was just saying, if you've got your name at the bottom that's not actually your name, it would be great to just change that so people could know who they're talking to. That's all. It's lovely to see you all from all around the world. It's quite a spread again today. Without diving into any details about where you're from, anything about today, if we could just go around and quickly say where you're actually calling in from. So I'm just going to call out someone, and if you could let us know where you're calling in from. Okay, so Lucy, where are you calling in from?
Hi, Morag. I'm coming from Canberra, or near Canberra.
Canberra, great. And Pia,
yep.
Where are you calling in from?
I'm from Denmark, Scandinavia, Odense.
And Kath, where are you calling in from?
Hi, everyone. I'm from Capel in Western Australia, the southwest part.
Nice. Andy, where are you calling in from?
I'm in Cannington in Perth.
Oh, so we've got two WA.
Western Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah. WA.
Yeah. Lucas.
About 16 degrees over here.
Oh.
Galicia, Spain.
Spain. North Spain, isn't it?
Yeah, Galicia, Spain, North Spain. North,
yep.
East, West. Northwest Spain.
Yeah. And Ligaya, where are you calling in from?
From Ontario, Canada.
Canada. Fantastic. And Lizzie.
Hi everyone, I'm calling from Cambridge, UK.
Cambridge. Sylvia, where are you calling in from?
From Sydney,
Lovely.
Australia.
And Stacey.
Hi everyone, I'm Cronulla, Sydney, Australia.
Yeah.
Kim, where are you calling in from?
A little town called Young, halfway between Melbourne and Horsham, Melbourne and Adelaide, sorry,
Yeah, right.
in Australia.
Great. And Michael, where are you calling in from?
From Brisbane in Australia.
Brisbane, close by to here. And Edith.
I'm from Galicia, northwest Spain.
Yeah.
Hey, hi, Lucas.
Near Lucas. Fantastic. Fantastic. So that's a wonderful spread. And we had a lovely group this morning. Kath was there as well this morning. Who did we have this morning joining in? There was Gemma. She was calling from America. There was 3 people from America, actually, I think, because it's a better time for them in that part of the world. What time is it for you, Lagai? It must be really odd time for you.
It's 6 o'clock, 6:06 in the morning.
Oh, well done.
I woke up. I make sure.
Oh, well
You know,
done.
my husband woke me up too. He helped me. I was like yesterday, where are they now?
Because we used to have it, I used to have it as a 5 a.m. Brisbane time and an 8 p.m. But to make it just work better for global time, I ended up making it 9 a.m. But Lagai was so used to doing the 5 a.m. She was 3 hours early for us and missed us. I'm so sorry about that.
It'll be a problem for me when I go back to work. I've got holidays now because the 9 a.m. is 1 a.m. here. And I can't stay up that late.
Does it? No.
No, it doesn't.
All right. We're going to have to we'll keep shifting and changing and trying to make things work, and that'll be great. Now, I'm going to try something a little bit different right now. I'm going to send you into a little breakout room. And have you ever done this with Zoom before? Hi, how are you?
Hi, it's my husband.
Hello, nice to meet you. So I have a question that I want you to explore. I'm only going to send you off for like 3 to 5 minutes. And what's going to happen is you'll all kind of like get sucked out of this room and plopped in another room with about 4 people. And how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And the question is, firstly, how is learning permaculture influencing what you're doing now? And the second question is, how do you want to be teaching permaculture? So I might, that's all right, Hannah, no worries. Hopefully you'll continue to be able to join us. So if you, you'll find yourself plopped into a room in about 30 seconds. And then I'll bring you all back. You'll kind of get sucked out and you'll be plopped back into this room. See you soon.
Ooh.
Hi.
Oh, how's it going?
Hi, good. Everyone else is just coming back. I've sent them off to breakout rooms and they're all about to come back in just 40 seconds. So you'll be inundated by a whole lot of other people very soon. Hang on, here they come.
Okay, awesome. No worries.
Nice to see you. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back. I think everyone's starting to come back. We've got a few more. Yeah, they've still got 19 seconds left to go. I think 5, 4, 3, they should all start popping back into our world. Here they come. Great. I think we're all back. Pretty much. So I'm wondering, without diving into everything that you heard or you talked about, anything particular that you noticed, any common threads or any inspiring stories that kind of popped out for you? Did you enjoy that process of zipping out and having a chat with people? Any kind of thoughts or feedback about content or process? I think that's a really interesting way to go from here.
Yeah.
Go, Edith.
I think that at least in our group, I think that one main point was that to show alive what you are doing, to show your garden, to show the way you do the things, helps a lot to explain permaculture. More than with, you know, slides in a computer or something like that, to be with your hands in the dirt and to explain with your garden, is much easier to improve the teaching process, because people see that works and that is possible. I think all of us talk about that.
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah, that's a great, and that's the importance of having demonstration gardens, whether it be a community garden, your own garden, a garden neighborhood center, or a school garden, wherever it might be, even a verge garden, even something small. Like one of the participants who's based in New York at the moment is working on a rooftop garden above, you know, on the top of a sort of a 10th-story building. So wherever you are, to try and find a spot where, that you can actually create that opportunity for that to happen. And that's absolutely brilliant. Yeah, great. Any other common threads or inspiring stories or?
Yeah, in our groups, same as Edith, I think the majority of us have redefined how we want to bring or teach permaculture. And so that's probably just part of the process, that we can open our scope of how we can bring it, you know, not just in traditional teaching, but just leading by example in so many ways, as well as formal teaching. And the other thing that I really resonated with was Lucas. He mentioned that he now sees like more potential wherever he goes. So like he sees a rooftop and he thinks garden. And I remember when I did went to art college, and we did design, and once we come out of that class, how we saw the world out with different eyes, it was just incredible. And through the lens of permaculture, you can see potential pretty much everywhere, you know, capturing water, growing something, turning something into food production. And I think it's the lens of permaculture that just changes how you live your life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's really interesting. And it's often when I'm working with young kids too, I sort of talk about putting on the glasses, you know, and walking around instead of with rose-colored glasses, you know, vegetable-colored glasses or something, you know, like it is just trying to think about that, seeing from a different perspective through another lens, and to see the what Nora Bateson calls the unprecedented possibilities that surround us all the time. And it's a wonderful way to walk through the world, actually. Seeing those possibilities and seeing the potential, and starting to notice things, to be always taking that observation skill with us. And that this whole process that some of you are just beginning, but others have been through the process of doing the site analysis and engaging with the landscape and noticing what's going on, but to always be doing that wherever you go, and continually in your own landscape too, that it's an ongoing mutual learning process that you get into with your land and with the people that you're engaging with in that space, and with your neighborhood and the bioregion, and also not just thinking about in space but in time, you know, getting to know more about what happened before, and really seeing more about the richness of where you're from in many different contexts. Yeah. Anyone else?
That part has been such an eye-opener. That part of like looking at your landscape from I think 1930s was the first photos that I can see of my land, and that the fact that it's always changing, and every time you look at your space or wherever you go, you're always reevaluating the whole time. So nothing is stagnant, and everything is, and it's really, that's how nature is as well. As you know, as you teach, it's always changing and adapting, readapting. Yeah. So it's been an interesting process. Thank you.
Yeah, great. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing that, what do they say? That, you know, there's one thing that you can guarantee in life, and that is change. Change will always happen. We'll always be in a state of change. And it's about how we can be adaptable and resilient and be able to notice and flow with those changes and design our systems to be able to be adaptable, rather than thinking of a design as a fixed thing. It's a process. We're engaging in a process with that land, not to create a new sort of the map is not the territory. You know, the plan is actually our way of understanding where we are and engaging with it more deeply. And that, you know, what you had as your plan today, if you come back to it in 5 years' time, the structure and the skeleton of it will be there, but there'll be lots of shifts and changes will have happened. And I hope you'll be able to kind of continue to evolve it over time, which is also one of the things that I really like about permaculture when you're particularly working with communities, for example, is that you start to design with the community, and you teach design with the community, so that if you're not there anymore in a project, in a school or in a community garden, that other people understand how to engage with that process. It's different from coming in as a design expert and designing for someone, then walking away, and they're left just being a consumer of a space. That you're actually engaging with people, like that whole kind of citizen design approach, where you're actually helping to teach other people how to design and other people how to understand how to see through these lenses as well. And so the process of being a permaculture teacher is really empowering other people to connect with their landscape and to be able to engage fully in negotiating their way through their spaces and then rippling it to other people. So I can kind of see it as this ongoing wave, and yet different ways of doing that. You know, one may be through a permaculture design course, but it could be through simply teaching through demonstration of what you were just saying before. Yeah. Anyone else have any thoughts or comments that came out of their conversation, or any feedback about whether you liked being zipped off into a little discussion group or not? How did that feel?
I liked that. It was good.
I think it's probably more personal, because we get to actually sort of meet more, formally, I suppose.
Yeah.
But can I just say on your fact, so I'm a qualified gardener, but I think if life would be pretty boring if you got, you know, the team in, did an overhaul of your garden, and you sat back and said, yeah, it's done. Like, I don't know how you could keep going. It's like, you know, that's just not life.
No, that's true. Yeah, I think, you know, being engaged with it is just the key, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm glad that you know, at least some of you enjoyed that process of zipping out into the group. And I only did it for a short time just because I wasn't sure whether you would like it or not. So, you know, 5 minutes is probably not enough time for you all to actually say something. And I thought...
No, not really.
No, I kind of thought, one, it's either just like a brief intro and at least you get a chance to chat. The other is it's frustrating because it's not long enough to all have a chance to say something. So it was an experiment. And if you're happy with it, I'd like to try it again next time, and maybe we could make it a bit of a, you know, even longer, you know, 10 minutes or something, is a chance where you could actually explore things in a little bit more depth. Because I know when we're like this, it's mostly me speaking, and I know that it's kind of nice for me to not be the speaker, and that for you to talk amongst yourselves, because what an amazing group of people, and everyone's bringing in such richness of experiences and ideas. So we did an interesting thing this morning. Actually, Kath was there and someone asked a question. They had something that they were wanting to get some feedback on. And instead of me answering the question, the group answered the question. And I participated in that response. And that was really great. How did you think that went, Kath? What did you reckon?
Sorry, I was just turning my mute off. I thought it was really good, and it was sort of very interactive and different ideas from different people. And because you've got, obviously we're talking different climates and different places, but a lot of the ideas could be, you know, transferred depending on, you know, what people's experience were. So I thought it worked really well.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, if there's a question that someone wanted to bring to the group today, I'm very happy for us to try that here as well. And I would really love it too if someone would be brave enough to share their designs with this group. You know, if you've got a plan or you're working on a project, and to actually bring it to the group and get some feedback and ideas. Or I know Lucas, one time you brought in a whole lot of pictures and things, didn't you? You showed us through. That was great. That was really great to be able to kind of see into someone's place and into a project, and into, you know, to get a sense of how someone else is applying permaculture in a different context. So that was a really really great opportunity. So, sorry, Lucas?
Hey. Edith, me, and Julian, another guy, we are working a new project in a community mountain. They allowed to work in the, how to say that, Edith? The high voltage lines, the electricity lines.
The electric lines that pass through the mountains with the high towers.
Yeah.
Need a special management, because they don't allow tall trees. So as they can put eucalyptus to wood, you know, commercial. Manage commercial, well, for commercial to sell. Where they think about these areas like you know, wasted areas, because they are not for wood. So we have now a permission to work on those lands, and
experiment, 2,000
yeah, like an experiment. Yeah. Yeah, continue, Lucas.
Yeah, okay. There is some oaks already there, and a lot of acacia, Melanoxylum acacia, a lot of it.
Yeah.
So we are gonna manage it like syntropy, and we are make key lines we are not sure, every 5 to 10 meters, and try to make how to say that, elderberry plantation to make champagne with the flowers. And with the berries, the marmalade or whatever, because there is a small company here in Galicia that they are starting popping up 5 years already, and they are working very good with the marmalades and all that, but they don't have product enough, you know. So our idea is to make it, then see how it works, and start selling them, just to make one salary a year, you know, at least. And if that works in 2,000 meters, we have 10 hectares to work with that, and maybe give the idea to other mountains, you know, and other communities.
Yeah, the idea is to demonstrate that those areas are valuable in all points of view, you know, like an ecosystem of small trees as key species, as biodiversity, but also for production. Yeah, elderberry will be the key tree, but we want to mix a lot of well, do like a small edible gardens, edible forests, but in a small scale. Yeah.
Fantastic.
With low trees.
Well, good luck with that. So when are you starting?
We are starting 2 weeks ago.
Oh, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. We worked 2 days already.
The idea was before, but we started to chop and drop acacia and mark the key lines 2 weeks ago.
Excellent. Send some pictures into the group. Send some pictures into the group. It would be great to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, wonderful.
I made a video, but it's in Spanish. But well,
we can still watch it. We can still watch. Yeah.
Why not?
Next day we will film one in English.
Yeah, great. That'd be so cool.
Yeah, for them.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah,
And
it would be great.
And the good thing we started 2 weeks ago because we have a, how to say that, the energy company clean up that every 5 to 10 years. And they just came with a heavy machinery and they clean up everything. So it's the time to start, you know, so we go straight forward with that.
Oh, good on you. That's really exciting. Yeah. I saw Lizzie had her hand up.
Opportunity.
Yeah, great to take that opportunity. I noticed Lizzie had her hand up. Great. Thanks.
I had lots of questions about that, but I was just reading last night on the Permaculture forum, a very old article about a technique called SALT. I can't remember what the acronym stands for, but I was reading up on things to do with slopes and how to plant slopes and the method, you know, the on contour planting in rows of legumes and then crop and then legumes was basically what they were talking about. But they really laid out how to do the technique really well, I thought, in that Permies.com article.
Would you be able to find that and put the link in there? Oh, you've done something already there. Fantastic.
I'll try and find the link. I read it late last night, so I can't remember all the details. But it sounded, the other point they were making was what you were saying about using that land for growing perennials, the hillside steep land, as opposed to any other sort of, you know, agricultural use or animal use. I thought that was a lot of our, you know, in Australia, a lot of those slopes are protected from planning laws because of people don't want people looking over them, or they don't want other people getting above them or whatever. But it's not really about the looking after the ecosystem as a reason for it. But and my other question is, will the energy company come through and clear all your hard work, or have you got an agreement with them?
That's the problem.
The idea is that they will call us before they go and inspect. If it's suppose that if they come to inspect the lines and all the canopy is okay, then they don't do any management. So the idea is to show them the work we are doing, and because they are like a rental, you know, the forest is belong to the community forest, but they are renting that lines. So we have the agreement with the owners, not with the electric company. So they should ask us before, but we will see, because
by the way, the owners, Madroa Community Mountain, whatever is the name, we are based on I am a part of it too. Out of this thing, I am part of the other part.
It's a communitarian, it's a communitarian ownership of the mountain. It's very, very ancient. It comes from, you know, maybe more than 1,000 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, because it comes from the Visigothics, from the so from the after the Romans, you know. So maybe, in the low Middle Ages, it comes from that.
Wow.
The communitary management of the mountains that are not owned by the law or by the church. It's very, very ancient, and it remains still in Galicia. So Lucas is one of the lucky ones.
It's really interesting, this whole idea of the commons, and that there are so many different ways that we can access commons. Like that's an amazing way. I know that, Andy, you're involved in a kind of a commons project too, aren't you? And how is it that you've accessed that commons land that you use?
Yeah, that's right, Morag. So we've got a community garden. It's on church property. It's about 60 square meters. and we're alongside a public area that's a park, Charles Sturt Park, and a bit like Lucas and Edith, actually, there's Western Power have got these big pylons that run down through the park, so they can't really do much but grow grass underneath. And the mayor of Cannington's been into the garden a couple of times, and he loves what we're doing there. So he said, oh, we should have more of this. And Heather, who I work with, she said, well, how about you give us some of that area outside the fence near the power lines? And so the council have pretty much said, yeah, go for it. You can have about 5 to 10 metres out from our fence line into that public park space for basically growing food and food so that anybody who walks through the park can check it out, do a bit of food foraging, things like that. So we're just waiting for Western Power to sign off. There's a bit of red tape there, of course, like so many of those things. But the intention and the community vibe is very good. Everybody who's come into contact with that has given the thumbs up. They think it's pretty good. So yeah, it's quite exciting.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
We get a lot of people from in Cannington. It's quite a mixed culture. We've had a lot of different cultures come through the garden, and they're always pointing out to me things that appear to be weeds or just growth on the fence line. They go, oh, you can eat that, and oh, this is good for this and that. There was a weed I saw, black nightshade, that a lot of the farmers in the area thought it was poisonous because the sheep can get sick from it. But a couple from Nepal who came into the garden said, oh, if you eat the dark berries, they've actually got antiviral properties to them. They're quite healthy, as long as you know, if you have the education and the knowledge to know, don't eat more than 8 at a particular time. Don't eat the green leaves or the green stalk. Just go for the black berries. And that's stuff that I'm learning just from people that I come into contact with. It's a lot of fun.
It's wonderful.
That Maitri down there on Galaxy 7 Duo, is that Maitri?
Yeah, Benriki. Yeah.
Benriki. Yeah.
Hello, Benriki. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
How is the Perma Youth going this week? Just to let everyone know, Benriki is calling in from Uganda in a refugee camp, and we've been working together every week with his Perma Youth group, and he's doing fantastic work teaching a whole group of young people over there. So what's been happening this week?
This week, it was more than it was, because we received the funds and there was a procurement of resources going on. So now I'm overwhelmed with the youth, so I don't know what I should do with them now.
How many?
Sorry, they are very happy.
Oh, great. How many young people are you working with right now?
Initially, I had 25. So after getting tools, now I'm approaching to register more than 40.
Wow, fantastic. So part of what we've been doing with the Ethos Foundation, which is the registered charity which is attached to the Permaculture Education Institute, we've been gathering funds to send over so that Benry can get tools and wheelbarrows and watering cans and seeds. And so now each of those children have these resources. So thank you anyone who's been supporting that. It's been really fantastic. So 40 kids, that's absolutely brilliant. And so are they starting to get gardens happening in their own home, or are you still working on the community garden space as well?
No, apparently we are making to every child's home. That's what we are doing.
Excellent.
Because we are finished for the community garden, so we are on every child's home. If it is a kitchen garden, we make it together. We move from house to the next. Then if it is a bed, we make it to 5 children who are nearby. Then when they get it, it gets every child's home. That's what we are doing now.
Fantastic.
And also their parents also are impressed with the program. They are also saying that they are coming to study mostly for pest management, because they have come to discover that chemicals have destroyed the land. It is no longer giving them yields according to what they wanted.
Fantastic. You're doing such great work.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. And thank you for joining us tonight as well. Or this morning. What time is it for you there? It's morning time, isn't it?
It's for us, it's almost, it is 17 minutes to 2 p.m.
Oh, okay. It's afternoon. And Anche's also from your part of the world, well, roughly from Tanzania, and the mother of one of the brilliant young people who were part of this program as well. I'm not sure if you know, but there's this whole thread of young people who are doing this course called the Permayouth. And so they're working through the program as well, and they get together every Sunday and have their own meetings which they run. And so if you know anyone who's in that age group of that 11 to 16-year-old group, they're always open and welcoming new members. So the Permayouth that Bamriki works with also meet up with them on Sunday too, and they've arranged pen pals, and they have great exchanges happening. So it's an amazing part. Do you want to speak to that, Angie, at all, about how Lulu's going with that, and as a parent, how you're seeing the Permayouth working?
That's fine.
It's been great. It's been absolutely super, because we live relatively isolated, and she's never really had, you know, the possibility of communicating, not already as a teacher, but as a recipient of information and sharing information, and this has just uplifted her so much. And she's she's getting really into it, doing her own research. You might not do, you know, the program as you've designed more for adults, but she's really getting in now, picking and asking, and Unstoppable is fantastic, and coming up with new ideas every day. No, it's great. It's really super.
Yeah, great. And there's also another group that that Lulu and the Permayouth are forming, which is a warm data for teens, which is actually a conversation group that's come out of a woman called Nora Bateson started these warm data labs. And it's all about, her perspective is around systems thinking, but also that how we start to tackle some of the big picture issues of our time from many different contexts. And that she actually talks about how one of the biggest actions that we can take is shifting our perception. And we often think we have to race out and do lots of action, where she's saying, actually, we need to be able to also shift the way we think, so that the kind of action that we go forth and do is actually in the right direction. And in many ways, Bill Mollison also said that. There was one of the early principles in his book, in this weightlifting book. If anyone's read, has anyone actually read this book or had a chance to browse through it?
Yes.
It's the very thick permaculture designers manual, which is it kind of lives on my coffee table all the time. It's, as you can see, it's very well used. It's kind of a bit similar to this other one. So these two books are absolutely brilliant. The Retro Suburbia one from David Holmgren, which is it's kind of like a designer's manual for transforming suburban areas into permaculture havens, whereas the Bill Mollison one was kind of the original manual of permaculture concepts. And why I mention it was because I'll have to find it, but there's a quote in the front there that talks about how it's permaculture is very much about sort of the thoughtful design approach rather than just racing out and doing the action, like actually spending the time to observe and think and design first. And I know it's so tempting to want to just get out and do the action, but spending that time, and getting, the water systems worked out and the way everything connects together, and then that everything will start to flow from there. So it's been great to have this whole youth thread happening through the permaculture program as well, which is just wonderful. Now, sorry, say that again, Andy.
Sorry, Morag. That retro suburbia is available online as well.
Yes.
It's one of those. It's pay what you feel, so you can make a donation, however big or small. I got that a couple of months ago, and it reads very well online. You can pull up a menu on the side and jump to the components that apply to what you're studying. I'm finding it very helpful.
I'm just trying to find the link for that because
retro suburbia.
I do have it here somewhere. I think I'm just going to try and pull it up for you. So recently, one of the podcasts that I did recently was David Holmgren, and he talked about, I can't find the link. I will find it and send it through. Oh, here it is. I've got it now. Sorry. I'll put it into the chat. Okay. Just a minute. Just trying to make sure I'm getting it to the right spot. Okay, so I've just put it in the chat. So if you click on there, that's where you can go to download that. The other book that I think is really worthwhile looking at, and you can also get this online, is the Tropical Permaculture Guide, which is an absolutely brilliant series of books. It's about 1,000 pages worth of permaculture materials. So I've just put that in there too, from Permatil Global. And you can download them as individual chapters, or you can download the whole book as well. So that's a really useful resource as a teacher, but also if you're working with young children, because it's really visual. That's really great. So I've just seen some little extra conversations going on here as well. Is there I'm not able to keep up with all the conversation at the same time as focusing on the group. Never mind, I'll let you read that. You can see what's going on. I wanted to just run through a few little things. I'm going to see if I can share my screen and get this to the right spot. Let me just do that. Now, can you see my screen now with the Permatil Global?
Yep.
Yeah, great. Okay. All right. So I'm on the right page. That's good. So that's what that looks like. And you can download individual chapters here. They'll ask you to register. And the reason, so when you go in and add it to the cart, they'll ask you to put your name and address in there. What they're doing is they're keeping track of where the book's going to and how many different countries it's going to, because what they're trying to do is to gather the resources to then get it translated into as many different languages as possible, which would be great. So they're wanting to do that. There's also a program that's being run by Rosemary Morrow and a group of people called Permaculture for Refugees, and I'm working with her to try and help develop up resources that are useful and training. Rosemary Morrow was actually going out to a lot of different communities, but now COVID's happened. It's changed everything, really. There's another group that I'm working with, and Rosemary Morrow is too. It's called Realliance, which is a group of people that are coming together to basically bring permaculture into how you can implement permaculture in humanitarian aid, where there's a lot of displaced communities. And so all around the world, actually, this is a global program, and a lot of the original funding from this has come from an organization or a social enterprise called Lush, and you may well have heard of them, the Lush soaps things. They put a fair bit of money behind this. So you can check out this because they've got all these different sorts of case studies and resources. And the reason I'm sharing this with you, you might want to sign up for their newsletter. I'll put all the links into the chat in a minute, because all of the case studies are all based on permaculture, essentially, which is a really great way to see how that's all happening. Let's see. Just quickly, Plastic Free July is on right now. And so I think 177 countries are participating in this. Here we go, 250 million participants, 177 countries. People are making changes, so or taking on the challenge to do it. So I'm just trying to find where my little link is for that. Here. So every day since July started, I've been putting up a little post either on Facebook but also up onto the YouTube, and you can see them all here. So everything from how to make beeswax wraps, or chickpea tofu, just simple little everyday things that you can do. And the reason I'm showing you this is because I'm sure you're all over all of this stuff, but why I'm doing this is because I find that as a permaculture educator, often these are kind of the entry points to start having a conversation about permaculture in a community where possibly the openness to the bigger ideas maybe not be quite there. So it's a great opportunity to maybe connect with some of these global programs that are happening, to use that as an avenue to introduce permaculture thinking in your local neighbourhood. So I'm wondering, is anyone doing anything around Plastic Free July now in their local neighbourhood? Is that something that anyone's hooked onto? Check it out anyway. I'll like I said, I'll put the links to all this in the, actually what I might do now, I'm just going to drag and drop all of these different links. There's a whole lot I've just dumped into the chat, hopefully. It's it doesn't want to do that. Too many links. I might have to do them individually. Sorry about this. There we go. That's the Plastic Free July one. Yeah, there's the retro.
Sorry, Morag.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead, Andy.
In once again.
No, that's all right.
So the local council over here has just started a program for collecting containers like milk bottles and other bottles and cans, things. I think they're targeting kids more than anybody else, but they give you 10 cents per empty container that you bring into particular depots.
Yeah, right.
And it really highlights the point that so many people don't know how to use their two different bins here. You've got your green waste bin, but you've got your recycling bin, and still so many people just chuck their rubbish in wherever they feel like, and there's so much waste coming out of it. So I guess they're appealing to the pocket, and if people can be making 10 cents per bottle, then it's a bit of a motivator there.
Yeah. I remember doing that as a kid, actually, going around collecting cans.
Yeah.
Go around the neighbourhood. It has come back, hasn't it? But also, it does make you think, gosh, it takes, we were learning about this when we were kids. And why is it that we're not really that much further along? It's kind of a little bit distressing when we think about it like that.
Some councils are doing, sorry, it's Lizzie. Some councils, like at the Mid-Coast, New South Wales, Newtown, Corrie, Foster, have a huge turn up to their container recycling centre. It's like a regular customer thing, really. And it is the money, the hip pocket that people value, but then they also value the social connection of a trip out with their community, basically, to take their containers.
Yeah.
So that's something.
Yeah.
And get the kids off the screens for a while.
Yeah, that's right. So it's a global issue. I know Ben Ruki's been trying to explore that in the camp, in the settlement where he is recently as well. So everywhere, this is something that needs to be explored. So I'm just going to run through quickly some of the other ones. So I wanted to let you know that about the Global Eco-Village Network. They have this amazing website, which is ecovillage.org. And there's about 6,000 different eco-village projects that are listed on this. And many of them are permaculture based. The next podcast that is coming out on Wednesday will be from the CEO of the Global Eco-Village Network. They also have events, some free online training and webinars and different things. It's worth getting on their newsletter as well. And they also have, so they have a solutions library, which is looking at different ideas that are coming up about how to live a more sustainable, regenerative way of life. Newsletters, events, different resources that are available for you. And they've also been working on an eco-village impact assessment to try and identify what are the benefits that eco-villages or, permaculture villages are bringing into the world, so that they can then take that and talk to authorities with far more evidence-based information. So that's what's happening there now. So I really recommend you dive in and have a look at that resource. If anyone really wants to focus in on systems thinking in a much more deeper way with Fritjof Capra, I've recommended his book within the course, and I think I included one or two of his videos in the worldview section of the course. So Fritjof and a couple of the Perma Youth, and I did an interview recently, so that's going to be coming up really soon. And he's offered scholarship places to a number of Perma Youth to join this next course. But he also wanted me to let you know that it's opening up, as of now, it's open up to register for his next course. So if you'd like to dive into learning more from Fritjof, so what happens is he has a series of 12 lectures, but then he has tutorials that you can work through with him and ask him questions directly. And also join in a global alumni of incredible people. And so you can jump online there and take a look and join in if you want to do that. So I'm going to be working with 10 youth from around the world and mentoring them through this course. I've been working with Fritjof for about 27 years now. And he's going to be kind of jumping in with the youth every couple of weeks, but I'll be working with them every week, which is a really exciting thing to be focusing on. I also wanted to let you know about Gaia Education, which is similar to the Global Eco-Village Network. They've developed up these series of Sustainable Development Goal cards, which are a really excellent tool for teaching about sustainability. And so they have sort of questions on one side. They have, like the SDG here. And I think when we start to link permaculture with the SDGs, which was, like I said, the focus of that last masterclass. And so this training has come through Gaia Education. And they have webinars, and they have a new set of cards that are coming out soon as well. So anyway, they've got a whole lot of resources and projects and e-learning opportunities. So it's worth knowing about them. There is another talk that I'm involved in coming up. It's this one, Restoring the Future, a regenerative transition strategies. So we've had a series of 3 so far. I was focusing on the food systems in the first one. Then we looked at bioregional economies in the second one. Last week we were focusing with Chels, who's an Indigenous woman who's a marine ecologist. She's PhD in Indigenous seasons, and so she led last one. And the final session next Tuesday is with Jason Twill, who was the gentleman I did a podcast with a couple of weeks ago. So you can join us on the panel. I'll put in the link to that now into the chat. It's free to register. There we are. That's that one. Oh, actually, I might just, while I think I was trying to put these all in at the one time, but it wouldn't let me. So I'm just going to drop. So there's the Gaia Education webinar series, free webinar series. Here's the Fritjof Capra's course. This is the Eco Village network. And here's the link to the podcast, in case that's the podcast with all the latest information there. So I think that was all I wanted to share with you, quite a few bits and pieces. Oh, actually, I'll put in the Permaculture for Refugees and Realliance links as well. Yeah. Here we are. Great. Okay. I've realized we've hit the hour. Is anyone, I'm going to stop sharing my screen now so I can see all of your lovely faces again. There we are. Beautiful. There we are. Gosh, that just went snap like that. I was, if you've got any questions that haven't been, that you came with burning questions, then I think maybe it might be an opportunity to email them through, or even send them into the Facebook chat and we can explore them there. I am going to invite you all to a session next Monday, if you're available at this time next week. I'm really interested in gathering together a group of people who are interested in doing research or fundraising or writing, to anyone who wants to start doing anything like blogging or filmmaking or fundraising for international projects, to take your kind of permaculture interest into that world. I'm going to send out an email to invite you to come along, and we'll explore how we can do that. Yeah, watch out for that email, and if you're available to come, that would be fantastic. Because, you know, one of the things too that I'm really looking for some help actually would be on researching, gathering together really good sound research, say for example on different topics that we can then start to send out to different parts of the world. I'm just realizing there's lots of information that's floating around, but it sometimes just needs to be really clear, simple instructions, maybe well-written, clear diagrams, and just simplified. And so I'd love to work with a group of people who want to research that kind of stuff and to compile that. That would be fantastic as free permaculture information to go out. And also, then the week after that, the Monday after that, will be the masterclass, the next masterclass, and I'll send you notifications of that as well. Is there any final questions or thoughts or comments? Thanks for those thumbs up, those of you.
There is one, but it's not with the topic of today. Just a plant question. How to say that? The cassava, there isn't a way to plant it with the root, just with the root, from the root?
I've never planted it with the root. I always plant it with the stalk.
It's impossible to find the stalk here in Spain, you know. I'm going to try.
Bemariki, do you know? Do you know if you can plant a cassava from the root? I only know it from the stalk.
From the root?
Yeah,
some time for us to, yeah, it do happen, because there is a time we did, so it was a time when it was 2013 when ADRA was distributing seeds. So once, because there are some diseases which occurred, but the one which remain, the roots which remains the garden, again we had to get.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will try.
Great. Thank you.
Bury it.
Excellent. Well, I learned something today too. That's wonderful.
Yeah. I wonder, Lucas, in Indonesia they've got cassava as well. They call it singkong over there. And I've seen my wife sometimes make a slice out of the root and just keep it in like a glass of water until it softens up a bit. So maybe then you can try transplanting that into some koya, coconut fiber. Yeah. So take a slice through there, and then put that slice into a glass of water. See if it develops any fine hair roots, and maybe put that into coconut fiber and soil. See how you go. No promises.
Okay, I would try.
Does anyone else have any suggestions for Lucas? Anyone else familiar with growing cassava from a root? No. All right.
Thanks a lot.
No worries. All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining this session. I will be sending out the recording. Some people were really disappointed that they can't make these times, but were asking if they could watch it later just so they can get to hear and see some of the conversations and things that are happening. So I hope that's okay with you. If not, just do let me know. Send me a message if you have an issue with that. All right. Well, lovely to see you all, and I'll send you an email, like I said, and I'll catch you all very soon. Lovely to see you.
Thank you very much.
See you.
Thanks.
Bye, everyone.
Good day.
Bye.
See you again. Bye.